Hello everyone, this is Dante again, and here's another video. I didn't know I was actually going to make a video so soon, but here it is. And so, what's the topic of my video today? Now usually I'm probably, in some ways, almost excessively positive about the topic I'm going to discuss. However, I am going to still be positive about what I'm talking about, but I'm going to go into an interesting topic. And it's something that a lot of us in our 20s and younger, and some even older, really feel like doing, or we have this urge in our gut, in our heart, in our soul, whatever it is we want to call it. And that is saving the world. So now, especially in startup culture or university culture, there's this deal about you hear speeches all the time, which I love. I personally love them, that inspire you and tell people that they're going to go out and they're going to make a gigantic, ginormous impact on the globe at large. Now, let's step back and think about a few things. And I'm going to go ahead and start with number one. First things first. Can we change the world, or really have the impact we desire on the world, when we can't even manage ourselves? I mean, think about it. Is it easier? And when we're thinking the world, like most people are thinking multiple human beings or multiple animals, what have you. If we can't manage ourselves, at least for the most part, I don't think we're ever going to get to 100% at least. If we can't manage ourselves, how are we going to go out and tell everybody, or to tell the world, that it's time to change for the better, or the good that we think that it is, or that it needs? You know, here I am, or here's the typical 20-year-old, right? Some of us don't make our bed. I make my bed every day. I saw a video clip about it. I'm trying to remember the TED Talk about it. I'll have to get back to everybody on that. But it was discussing the fact that making your bed every day is the start of great habits. And it's not only discussed by him, but Jordan Peterson mentions it. There are a lot of people right now that are mentioning responsibility. And yes, we have to take responsibility for ourselves before we go out there in the world. If we're drinking every day, if we're taking drugs every day, right? Again, some of these items can be fun, or if done in moderation. You know, talking about the middle way in Buddhism, that's pretty much all of life if you do things moderately. But it seems like almost all of us at least, have a vital flaw, or a gigantic problem and then yet we have these problems, and then we're trying to change a bunch of other people too? It's like, I don't even want to compare humans to it, but it's like anything in life. Like, if you're managing anything, if you're managing money, if you're managing other animals, my question is, like, isn't it much harder, or isn't there not as much of an effect if you're trying to influence more rather than less? And so that just seems like a common sense thing, but most of us, I don't think, get it. We don't come in here. We don't get in touch with our thoughts and our emotions. We don't accept who we are inside in ways. It's almost like a sense of denial, you know? And honestly, it doesn't matter even then. Like, there are some people that say, oh, I meditate every day, or oh, I smoke weed or for spiritual reasons, or I use DMT, or I use acid. And again, if you get the message, I suppose, and then you spread it, you live your life, you clear up your deal, and then you spread it to other people. Yes, that's what we're gunning for. But it seems like even many of us who understand what life is about, or understand that we're all connected together, we still can't manage ourselves. We still can't fix most of what's what we call wrong with ourselves. So then it begs the question, is there any point in trying to change the world, or can we do it? And again, I believe we can make big strides. We can do great things. I mean, if you look at history, of course, you have Jesus Christ, Siddhartha Gautama, Mahavira, Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, look at motivational speakers even like Tony Robbins. They've all had gigantic impacts in ways. But look at the scheme of human history. They say Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins. But isn't it true that there were wars that came after that? Isn't it true that Siddhartha Gautama did his own thing, didn't want gurus, didn't want all of that, but that there are individuals that don't perform Buddhism or don't take his message the correct way and influence what they would consider evil upon the world? Isn't it true? Every single figure. Martin Luther King Jr., right? So many great rights for not just African Americans or black people, but for every other race too. But yet, aren't there people from each and every single one of those races that perform hideous, heinous crimes? Absolutely. There is still conflict after every single event that an amazing figure or an individual put forth. So we must think of that. Again, I think there is hope. And who knows? Maybe it's going to come in the form of these nanobots like Ray Kurzweil thinks, 2042. We're supposed to be, he believes we're going to be fused with nanobots that are going to take care of everything. Our nervous system and everything. We're going to be connected to a network. It'd be interesting to see if that happens. Peter Diamandis, he's already begun. He's got a chip in his hand. He believes it can happen too. And honestly, I love the positivity. It makes me feel good. It makes a lot of people feel good. But when a startup, a culture, the entity of a startup, or an individual says to me, I'm going to change the world, I almost ask them, how are you going to change it? Because you might change something that might improve or make some things easier in life. But the question is, are the human beings that you're trying to help, are they fulfilled here? Or is it just a band-aid? Is it a gigantic incision? I liken it to this. It's a metaphor. Large scar down your stomach, but you're just putting a band-aid on it. Just stopping little drops of bleeding. But you're not taking care of the crux of the issue. And that's what all of us have to sit back and think. And I think, I'm not going to, like I said, I've kind of been going on and on about this. But I really can't answer that question alone. I'm just one simple human being. Every single person has to answer that question, which does make it tough because as I was watching a lecture by Alan Watts the other day, he talks about how even the figures like Hitler and Stalin, and Fidel Castro, they all believe they're in the right. They did what they felt was in here. So again, that complicates things even more when it comes to saving the world. Now, as far as the graduation speeches, I love them. I think every student should run off on a very high note. However, I think we do need to, as the current trend has shown, we do need to start taking responsibility or stepping back and saying, before I go out there and try to have a massive impact on the world, let's start here with me, with you. That is, I think, where we need to begin. And I think that's where we ultimately find our solutions. Because again, we may have the problem here, but the problem and the solution are always tied together. Thank you very much. That was my semi-positive, semi-ranty video about saving the world. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, go ahead and put them down in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you all enjoy the video from a simple man trying to find his truth. Alright guys, talk to you guys next video. Bye.